Together we head further into town. I decided to check out some of the storefronts and streets that I didn't get a chance to see yesterday. The Pongo wanders off whenever it gets too crowded, but he always seems to find his way back to me. After most of the day has passed, I decided it's time to return to the inn. Leon, Amelia, and Zach are there waiting. Zach's scowl is fiercer than usual, but otherwise he looks a lot better than this morning. Leon stands when I arrive.
Here, I got you something.
Oh! She passes me a gauntlet similar to the one on the wrist. The sphere inlaid is the same color as Liana's. That must be a wind crystal. Is this a manipulator?
Yeah, I was thinking about your last attempt at casting, and I figured this might be more helpful with future training.
That is incredibly thoughtful and, yeah, very forward thinking of you.
Having the manipulator as a focal point of concentration is how Amelia and I learned to cast.
Thanks. Kara finally returns and the attention shifts to her.
The crystal pickup will happen soon. We should start heading over.
Liana nods.
Once they complete the exchange, we should follow the guy to see if he leads us to their hideout. He might have other partners, so we should be on guard.
Mm-hmm.
I still can't think of why they'd want these crystals.
Well, maybe we'll find out soon.
Energy crystals have varying utilizations, some of which are outlawed.
Kara seems a bit surprised, but Liana doesn't react to that. Thinking about what these outlawed utilizations could be makes me uneasy.
We have our plan. Let's get started.
We trace back to the ruins and find the abandoned house of the children. Instead of entering, we spin it around the perimeter to maximize visibility on anyone approaching. Kara and I stay close to the house and hide behind some fallen bricks. Our field of vision is limited, but we're close enough to overhear any conversations that take place inside. After we position ourselves, we wait. Oh. This is quaint. We don't know when the man's going to show up, and after about 20 minutes, it's hard to get fidgety. Wish the kids had given us a time. Who knows how long we stuck out here for? My leg's starting to cramp, but as I shift, Kara shoots me a warning glance and I force myself to push through it. Finally, a man approaches. He looks to be in his 20s and surprisingly wears something that resembles a beanie on his head. Kara yanks my collar as we duck down. She covers my mouth with her hand and puts a finger to her lips. So our job's to listen in. Maybe this will be our eyes. I hear a door creak, followed by the faint sound of footsteps.
Hey yo, you punks got my crystals or what?
Apparently I already know his name. I listened for any extra footsteps, but it sounds like the man came solo.
Here.
There's a rustling of a bag being opened.
What is this? These crystals are weak, yo.
That's all we could find.
Nah, this ain't good, man.
Sorry.
The boy's voice is weak.
Huh.
The bag closes and the man grunts. He lifts it up.
Wait, where are our coins?
You'll get your payment when you deliver, yo. This is only half of what you promised.
There's a silence. I carefully peek out to see the boy straining with his hands clenched.
Fine.
That's what I thought.
The stranger lugs the bag over his shoulder. I quickly duck back down as he exits the house. Time to go. I turn to face Kara, who wears a serious frown and has fury in her eyes. I don't think I've ever seen her angry before, let alone this angry. She looks like she's about to rip that guy's head off. Kara?
Did you not see that? We should take him out now.
Think about the bigger picture? Yeah. He could just be a messenger. Stick to the plan. Kara clenches and unclenches her jaw, then she nods, still fuming.
I know you're right, but still.
He'll get his justice soon enough.
Let's hurry up and go.
Yeah. We trail the men out of Stonecrest, making sure to stay behind buildings and keep to the shadows so as not to be spotted. Kara slips in and out of the alleys with ease and it takes a lot of my concentration not to lose her. No wonder she's always sneaking up on us. I assume the rest of the team is also following him as I'm unable to spot them. That's for the best. The less chance of being noticed, the better. Outside of the city gates, it's a little harder to stay hidden as it opens out into a more open field. At least since we're spread out, it won't be easy for him to escape if he tries to. We successfully follow him to what looks like an abandoned train car. Okay, that's, interesting paint job, my man. Some kind of dark smoke emitting from the top. The man pauses and we crouch lower behind cover as he looks around. He doesn't spot any of us and enters the train. Kara again puts her fingers to her lips and I nod. Staying low, we sneak toward the train. The windows are all blacked off, but we crouch below them anyway. I can hear muffled voices as I gently press my ear against the train.
Yo, Mr. White!
Jesse, how many times do I have to tell you to call me Heisenberg?
I knew that name sounded familiar. I knew it sounded familiar, and then that's now it's time to cook. Right. Like, why do I know his name? And more importantly, why does the name ring a bell? And oh my. I'm all over the window knocks. The man speaks softly, but his tone is strict and disapproving.
My bad, but I got some crystals.
Let's see.
There aren't many, and they're pretty small. I don't think we'd be able to get much out of them anyway.
It doesn't matter their size. Once we're done cooking them, they'll be exponentially more effective.
I don't know, man. They're tiny. How does that even work?
It's a simple matter of science.
You serious? You can do something like that?
Indeed.
Yeah, Mr. White. Yeah, science.
Heisenberg.
Oh, right. My bad, yo.
I hear a faint clanging of glassware. I wish I could see what they were doing. I hear sharp snap crack somewhere from behind me. Who was that? I shift out of position to look behind me and see an animal scampering away. As I breathe a sigh of relief, I notice the absence of noise in the train.
What was that?
Before I had the chance to get down, one of the windows swing open and I'm face to face with both of them. The younger man with the beanie, Jesse, stares at me with wild eyes. The second man is much older, maybe the age of his father, and fixes me with an inscrutable stare. He looks surprisingly normal, not like someone who get mixed up with something shady. Jesse turns around and darts out of the back exit.
Run!
Mr. White joins him in his car and I sprint to the side of the train. Thankfully, Liana and Zach are already there. Liana points her blade at them.
Surrender and come with us peacefully.
Or else I'm gonna have to whoop your ass. Jesse looks like he's about to bolt, but Zach fixes his discharger on him.
I wouldn't move if I were you.
Crap, what do we do? Why are you laughing at a time like this?
Amelia stands a good distance away, her manipulator glowing. After looking at the older man, she frowns.
The brandy no void.
Quite the observation, young miss.
Wait, what? You're a part of Void?
Mr. White merely smiles.
I didn't sign up for this!
Don't be so naive. You think the crystals were just going to magically create more energy?
Your intent was to perform shadow transmutation on the crystals to create tainted spheres.
That thing. What? Again, he doesn't answer.
It appears confrontation is imminent.
Why don't we even up the odds?
With a flash, Mr. White grabs two shadowy spheres from his belt, similar to the one I saw in Raven Pass. He throws them to the ground, then a dark smog emits, curling in the air. Liana reacts first and blasts her wind magic to dissipate the smoke. In its place are two shadow creatures. Their warped appendages are nothing that I recognize, and their long shadow claws come into a sharp point. This is the stuff of nightmares. They stand between us and Mr. White with Jesse cowering behind him.
Shadow familiars?
This is getting way too crazy for me. I'm out.
Jesse breaks into a sprint and Kara immediately gives
I
chase.
got him.
The two of them dash out of sight.
Unfortunately, you've disrupted my work, which means I have to start all over again. So, I'm going to get going.
He channels a spell and starts to run. As he continues to chant the spell, his shadows crawl up his legs, threatening to engulf him completely in shadow. We can't let him get away! Leon looks from the man to the familiars.
As much as I want to go after him, our top priority is to defeat these shadow creatures. Indeed. Shadow familiars this close in proximity to a city can wreak havoc and incite widespread panic.
They would know better than I, and I trust in their instincts. I look back at Heisenberg being swallowed by Shadow. Once the shadows fade away, he disappears. Alright. Zach readies his discharger, a small smile on his face.
Sounds like a challenge.
My heart races as I draw my blade. This is getting crazy. Okay then, Jesus. As Zion and Zack and I waited on the Shadow Familiars, Amelia stays out of range, dodging her attacks. The magic attack that she lets loose from far more powerful than ours, and as it chunks out of the shadow creatures. Now I understand why everyone's so impressed when they talk about mage casters.
The hostile shadow familiars have been vanquished.
Liana's magical glow and the charge on her blade fades as she stops channeling her magic.
We did it!
Yeah, well, I smile as I try to catch my breath. Looking around, Zach and Amelia look equally exhausted. They must have gone all out. I'm just confused. It's kind of went on autopilot. Jesus. This battle was no walk in the park, and there were only 2 shadow familiars to fight. Imagine if we had to face an army of them. I shivered the thought. As we wind down, Amelia and Liana gather to do one last skin with the manipulators. Zach looks over my way.
Looks like some of that training is finally paying off.
Still mad he was shooting me that time. Thanks. Yeah, thanks. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Hey!
Oop. We turn to the sound of Kara's voice. She waves at us with one hand and she uses the other to drag Jesse back. She plops him down in front of us as he falls ungracefully to the ground. I see that his hands are bound. Kara stands over him, her face grim.
Now, you're going to tell us exactly what you know.
I don't know jack squat. Mr. White was paying me to get crystals, and that's it, yo.
Yo.
So you were not an accomplice to the shadow transmutation.
I don't even know what the shadow transportation is.
It's the Shadow Realm, Jimbo. No.
Transmutation.
Exactly.
I don't think you needed the correction. He has no idea. Yeah, okay. We glare at him.
Look, I made a few deliveries to him. The first couple of times he wouldn't tell me what he did, but paid some good coin. But later he said he was going to show me so I could help with his operations. He was going to give solid pay for that too, yo.
I look him up and down. He stares desperately at us, and it's clear to me he's scared. This doesn't seem like the kind of man Void would trust with any kind of responsibility. I'm inclined to believe he's just looking for some fast cash. Kara seemed skeptical, but Amelia and Liana seem to have come to the same conclusion I have. Zach crosses his arms. Impassive.
Better hope the guards believe your story.
Jesse looks like he's about to protest, but sighs instead. I think he realizes there's no chance he's going to
The
escape.
bag of stolen crystals is in there. He didn't grab it before running out.
Liana enters the train and returns to the bulging bag.
Let's go turn him into the guards. They'll take it from here.
Zach calls Jesse back to his feet and leads him back toward town. Luckily, it's late at night, so very few people walk the street. The few who do give us long stares as we pass. When we arrive at the guard barracks, the person on duty gets to his feet. He looks at Leon in recognition.
Oh, it's you again.
We found the source of your missing crystals.
Zach pushes Jesse forward and he stumbles into the guard, who grabs a hold of him. The guard eyes him up and down.
It's this guy?
Oh man, it was all 'cause of Void.
The guard stares at him, clearly unconvinced.
Maybe in lockup you'll have time to think up a better story.
I'm telling you the truth, bitch!
The guard frowns and passes Jesse off to the guard, who takes him into the back. Then the guard turns back to us.
Hopefully you won't have any more issues.
The guard grins and looks relieved.
I can't thank you all enough. You have no idea how much of a thorn in my side this has all been.
I mean, I get that it's theft, but isn't it just like theft of what amounts to like candles? Like someone going around on Earth stealing everyone's fresh, rose and lemongrass scented candles with aromatherapy.
As promised, there's a reward for helping us catch the culprit.
Ooh, do we get like little badges? He produces a heavy satchel of gold which he hands over to us. They're probably not even chocolate inside.
Thanks again for all your help, and I hope you have a safe night.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks.
We leave the guardhouse and quickly divvy up the reward money. As everything settles down, the group decides to return to the inn. I'm glad we got to the bottom of things, but I cannot but wonder what will happen to those kids. No duh. I'll meet you guys at the inn. I think I forgot something. I slip away before anyone can ask me any questions and make my way back to those kids. They were dependent on that crystal money to survive, and I can't sit by and do nothing to help them.